Good evening, everybody. This one is going to be pretty light and generic. I don't have a certain plan for this. I just really wanted to pick up a book tonight, so I figured I might as well vlog. Oh. Anyways, so the number one book that I want to read in this vlog is The Vampires of El Norte. This one was actually a recommendation from a YouTuber and I had instantly added it to my TBR, but what got me to pick it up was I had seen Pagebound. They did a Day of the Dead readathon, so I thought I would honestly just read along with them and talk about this book. I'm really excited for it. I don't know much except for the fact that I know that there's two characters. We have Nina and Nestor, and Nina was basically presumed dead, so Nestor ran away to create his life, and it turns out she was actually alive the whole time. So the story takes place how they are thrust together to defend their territory from evil vampires. It is the beginning of November, but honestly I'm still okay with the gothic horror vibe, especially because it's getting dark now so fast. Like, it's only 5 p.m. and it's completely dark outside. So I think I'm just gonna focus on this one for tonight. Just really have fun with reading. I've heard that The Yearning is really good, really well done, so I'm excited. I know it's technically horror, but I'm really excited for the fiction horror aspect of it. But yeah, so that's pretty much the plan for tonight. I'm just going to relax and read, take you guys along with me. So let's go ahead and start The Vampires of El Norte. I am like 30 pages into Vampires of El Norte and it's really good so far. I really like the writing. I think that the way that the main character speaks about Nina is just so romantic and sweet. I only found out about this book through Heather. She's one of my favorite YouTubers and I really like her recommendations, and so I decided to pick it up. And then I also talked about how it is a page-bound challenge. But when I was watching Heather's YouTube video, she talked about how Nestor really yearns after Nina. I think that encapsulates the whole thing very well. Basically, the first two chapters of this book are kind of like a prologue to the rest of the book, and in that one something basically happens to Nina in which she's presumed dead, and Nestor, in like his grief and feels like he's unwelcome at the house, kind of leaves and knows he can't go back. And so the first chapter is actually from his point of view. It takes place 9 years after the incident happened where Nina was attacked by a violent creature. We really so far know that he's not over Nina's death and that it haunts him in more ways than one. He really feels like he can't grow close to anyone. In his grief, he feels like if he makes someone his home that they will disappear the way that Nina did. He's just pretty much closed off from creating any new bonds, so we see how grief manifests for him. I haven't read Nina's point of view yet, so I'm kind of interested to see how she's gonna feel about Nestor leaving, because obviously we know on his part it was because he thought she was dead. So yeah, like I said, Nestor really talks about Nina in such a beautiful way. On page 16 he says Nina was his home, the one thing on earth more precious to him than his own life. And then on page 28 he says she was with him, as real as she had been in life. He wanted to see her. He wanted to see her face more than he wanted water on a hot afternoon, more than he wanted rest after weeks in the saddle. And I think that encapsulates his yearning so much, that he still loves her even after she was taken away from him, and how much of an impact she had on his life. So I'm gonna keep reading and let you guys know thoughts. I'm excited to read Nina's chapter, and then I'll probably update you guys one more time. Hi everyone, welcome back to a really quick reading update. It's been a couple days since I've last updated you, and I'm really sorry about the horrible lighting. I am working on it right now. Ignore it. So the last that I updated you guys, I got a little bit into Vampires of El Norte, and I'm really loving it a lot. I love the writing. Nestor is probably my favorite character, and Nina, who is a healer. Basically in this one what happens is there is a war between Mexico and America, and 9 years after an incident that separated the both of them, they are thrown together again. Nestor had presumed Nina to be dead all these years, has been yearning for her ever since, and then Nina did not know know he thought that, so she's very angry at him and definitely holds a grudge. What I love about these characters is that their romance feels so palpable. I feel like you can actually feel their emotions. I think that the writing is just so beautiful when it comes to the way that Nestor yearns for her, which I love. I really love the both of them together, how they're gonna help each other. I really hope this book takes the direction of amplifying the character development between both of the characters, because I would love to see that. We haven't seen a lot of the vampires in this book. I'm just really excited. The quotes in this are beautiful. So on page 128, he said, "He could survive on the scraps from her table had he not spent the last 9 years starving." I just love the writing in general. I think it's just so romantic and it feels like an actual story being told rather than, you know, just a basic everyday romance book. And technically this is classified as horror. I haven't really gotten horror vibes yet. I think it's just horror based off the content of the vampires. Overall, I really love this one. I'm so excited to jump in again. So I think I'm going to focus on Vampires of El Norte mostly today because I do have a whole day off and I want to use it as much as possible. And then I do have one more reading update, which is that I did start the Wolf King on my Kindle. This one I'm like 20% of the way through. I know I bring this book up in every single video, but it really does remind me of Shield of Sparrows. A runaway redhead princess running from her kingdom, finding solstice in a very woodsy, atmospheric environment. I just feel like it resonates with me a lot. And so far in this one we have Princess Aurora, who is taken by an alpha of a wolf pack and basically is going to be used as ransom because the humans have something that the wolves want, and if he takes her then maybe they can use her as ransom, use her to get what they need. And then I think she's gonna start falling in love with the alpha that kidnapped her. I did tell my friend Amanda from bookstagram that I was starting this book and all she said was just wait for Blake. Do I know who that man is? No, and I'm really nervous to be introduced to him. I'm very hesitant because I don't know if I'm going to enjoy him as much as the male main character that we've seen so far, but I was looking through like the reviews on Goodreads and I saw a lot of comments about Blake, so I'm very nervous to figure out who he is and how he fits into the story. I'm in like a wolf era, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, so those are the two reads that I'm going to be focusing on mostly in this vlog. Just kind of a disclaimer because I know I've been slacking on my posting. I don't read, I mean I do read, don't get me wrong, I read quite a bit, but I don't read as often every week to do full-size reading vlogs, which has kind of been bothering me a little bit when it comes to my content because I can't get through books as fast as possible because I want to read quality books. I want to enjoy reading. I don't want to get in the habit of just reading for content. So if my reading vlogs only feature like 2 books, I'm so sorry, but I just figure I'd rather give you guys like full length reviews and thoughts on the books. Also, I do have a job outside of my YouTube, so I also have to count in the hours that I work and then also the time that it takes me to read a book and then the time that it takes me to edit and upload, etc. Anyways, thanks for sticking with me. And then I'm gonna go ahead and jump into Vampires of El Norte. I am going to a cafe later with my friend, so I'll probably vlog a little bit there. Like I said, I'm hoping to finish this one out today and then I will be back with another update hopefully soon. I am back with yet another update. I am on page 304 of Vampires of El Norte. I wanted to give you guys another reading update. I am, to no one's surprise, really enjoying this. I just really think the writing is so flowery and poetic. I really like the depiction of vampires in this book. I think it's such a unique take and I love to see everybody's take on vampires. In this one, the vampires are less conscious and they are more animal-like. I really love the direction that the author took with the animals in this this way, because they are written more as animals that happen to need blood to survive, and they are less violent and aggressive unless they're protecting themselves. That's one thing that I really loved about the story, was that these creatures are not inherently bad because they need blood to live or anything. That's just simply their way of life, and they'll really only lash out if they need to defend themselves. So that was one thing that I really liked about it. Again, the romance is top tier. I think one thing I didn't like about this book was just at the beginning was it was a little slow. I would say it didn't start picking up until 40% of the way through, and to me that's just too long of a commitment to really grapple the reader into it. Yeah, but that wasn't an issue for me because it reads so well. It reads just like fiction, and in fiction there's not too much plot, too much action. I really want to finish it tonight. I'm so tired and I just want to go to bed, but I really feel like I need to finish this one, and then I'm going to pick up The Wolf King. I really don't think it's going to take me that long to read. I'm excited to read that one too. I really haven't gotten too far into The Wolf King either. I want to say I'm like maybe 25% of the way through, and the last I checked in with you I was only 20, so I haven't read that much of it. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up this one, and then I will let you guys know my final thoughts after. Have to interrupt to read this quote real fast on page 324, and it says, "He had once thought what they had was a fragile, perfect thing. It was neither. It was imperfect, yes. If a path to the future lay at their feet, it was pocked and marred with difficulties. But he could withstand it. If he bit down on his fear, if he fought hard enough for it, perhaps they both could withstand it. For 9 years he had lived his life thinking Nina was dead. Now that he knew she was not, how could he let their mistakes divide them?" This whole book, the way that I feel about it is that Nina has, I'm not gonna lie, been angering me throughout it with her resentment towards Nestor and her grudges, but Nestor truly does love her, and I love how he voices his love for her. It just feels so real, it feels so authentic, and it just feels so genuine, and I've never really read love declarations in a book like this before, especially in a setting like this. I just think it's so amazing, and I just had to tell you the quote because it's just really good. Okay, let me give you guys the final rundown for the Vampires of El Norte. This one was definitely going to be a solid 4 out of 5 stars. I thought it was really amazing. You guys have heard me raving about it already. I love the main characters. I think Nestor has now solidified a place in my heart as one of my favorite male characters. This book really only takes place in the span of a couple days, and while it doesn't have previous flashbacks, you still get the same substance of the past of Nina and Nestor, even though you're not constantly reminded of their childhood. The way that the author incorporates their past into the present, it's also so productive. It doesn't feel like the story drags at all, and it doesn't feel like their romance story is lacking because of the lack of substance between their past. Everything was handled so delicately when we talk about the war between Mexico and America, when we talk about the way that the vampires act, and also how frustrating Nina was and her grudges against Nestor, and how Nestor was so eager to run away. Their character development in only the span of a couple days was just so great. I would really recommend this for you guys if you want a good fiction book with some horror aspects, but the underlying theme of this is a romance story at its core, which I really loved. I'm actually really excited to check out more books by this author because I've heard that they're all so wonderful. I'm so excited to have gotten this one down. It's so wonderful. I would really recommend this to you guys if you are into this. It was just so beautiful, and it was just a love story that was so unique. I'm going to go ahead and make the transition now to my Kindle. I am going to continue reading The Wolf King. Like I said, I'm around 25% of the way through, and I haven't gotten that far. Like I said, I'm really tired, so I just want something easy to read in bed before I go to sleep. But anyways, I think I'm gonna read tonight, give you guys one more update maybe, but I want to read until I meet this ominous Blake character, because skimmed through some more reviews and I just kept saying things about how interested people are in him. So I am actually interested to know more. I'm excited to meet a new character, but I'm also nervous to see if I'm going to actually enjoy enjoy his character, because I don't really like when there's a love triangle or a why choose book series, but that's just me. If that's your cup of tea, I'm not hating on it. It's just not something that I normally enjoy, but we'll see. Maybe this changes the game for me. But yeah, I'm going to continue reading The Wolf King, and then I'll give you guys another update. Good morning, everyone. I did not update last night because I was so tired I just ended up falling asleep. I did read a little bit before bed, so I wanted to give you guys a final update. As you guys know, I did indeed finish The Vampires of El Norte, and it was amazing like I said. This morning I had some appointments, so I wasn't really able to film while I was reading because I was waiting for a really long time, but I was able to read a lot. So between reading last night and bed and then this morning and my appointments, I got to chapter 38, which is page 268. So I'm very far into this one, and I want to give you guys my initial thoughts. Basically, the idea of this book is that Aurora gets kidnapped by the wolves basically as ransom to exchange for an item, which obviously while she's in the Northlands, which is wolf territory, she begins to gain feelings for one of the wolves, and there's political discourse, but I'm having such a great time with it. I feel like I do enjoy it. It's very fun. It's not as political as I would think going into it, but I'm still having a really wonderful time with it. And we have in fact met Blake. I was so hesitant to meet him because I was enjoying the main male character, but as soon as we got introduced to him, I was like, yes, I'm sapped. I'm really excited to learn more about him. I think there's just something about his character because you have Callum, who is basically the main love interest for Aurora. He's very strong and big and kind of blonde, I think. And I know this is Scottish romance, but they wear kilts, and I just sometimes, I don't know if I get the ick. So Blake, on the other hand, is actually a healer, and he's very smart. He's very cunning. He's tall and lean and dark-haired, and something about that is so like appealing. I feel like Blake in and of itself is a character that I would willingly rate this book 1 star higher. That's how much I like his character. And that's tea, because I was not expecting to like him that much, and I feel like low-key I'm in the same position as Princess Aurora, because tell me why she didn't want to like him and now she's kind of like intrigued by him, and low-key why is that me right now? Anyways, so I'm excited to read more on. So far, not much has happened. There's just kind of a lot of romance and learning more about the wolves themselves. One thing that's interesting about this book is that the wolves in this one cannot voluntarily shift on command. It is fully under the full moon, which I find really interesting because I guess I expected them to be able to do that. I don't know. And another thing is the title. It's called The Wolf King, so you would kind of expect the Wolf King to either play a really big part in the book, or I was expecting him to be a huge part of the book, and so far he's just not. Regardless, I'm still having a good time with it. I'm really excited to continue it. I am going to read a lot today. Like I said, I have the day off again, so I'm just going to use this time and try to finish up this Kindle book because, like I said, I'm on page 268 and the ebook is only 469, so that's only 200 pages that I would have to get through today. So I think I'm going to do it in increments of 100, so I'll probably be back with another update soon and let you guys know my next thoughts. Hello everyone and welcome to another reading update. I'm really excited for this one. It's now the next day, and while I didn't read too much, I did read just enough to get to where I have 100 pages left. So I'm on page around 369, but officially I'm on chapter 50. So far we have been introduced to Blake, as I've said before, and he's definitely risen to be my favorite character of the book. I don't know if he's intended to be Aurora's love interest, but from what I've read, I genuinely feel like Aurora and Blake both have something in common, and I don't know what it is yet. It's just I feel like they resonate with each other when it comes to their past and losing a parent and the dark side of politics. I just really love his character. I'm really excited to learn more about him. I can't really give too many thoughts because I would be spoiling the book, but I am really enjoying it though. I actually feel like this book is just so fun, and it's just like a classic fantasy romance. The one thing that I'm disliking about it is her and the main character. His name is Callum, and he's so bland to me. He has like the personality of a potato chip, if that's like a way if that's like a way you guys want a good comparison. I actually feel like he has no personality whatsoever, while Aurora is still trying to figure out who she is. Everything, I feel like he is nerfing her. Like, he's actually nerfing her. There was this one scene, I believe, in which she's trying to convince whoever's standing in place for the Wolf King, like, why she should be able to stay there. And she's like, oh, well, I know how to heal. Like, I've been trained in, like, herbs and medicinal stuff. Like, I can help out in the infirmary with Blake because he's the doctor. Like, I can help out with him and really just, like, pull my weight. And Callum, I believe, if I'm recalling this scene correctly, he's like, no, like, I don't want you to work with Blake, you know, like, you can go peel potatoes in the kitchen with this girl that nobody likes. And I'm like, like, she clearly is so smart and so intelligent, and I feel like he's just not letting her shine. Like, he's not letting her become who she's supposed to be. And I feel like Blake is not pushing her to do anything except for what she wants, and I feel like he's making her realize just how powerful she truly is. And I feel like Callum is not being a good love interest. Like, I feel like Aurora has so much going for her, and I feel like in this book I just wish that Callum was not in it and it was just Blake. Like, if it was just Blake, ooh, their love story would have been so good. But alas we get Callum. Oh. Anyways, I am pretty much on a part where things have been going wrong, and I know the story's about to wrap up soon, so I'm hoping to get the last 100 pages done tonight because I do really want to start the second book. I really think that the second one is going to have a lot more Blake and hopefully less Callum. Besides that whole rant, it's not to say that I'm not enjoying it, because I actually really am enjoying it a lot. I just feel like the story could have had so much more substance if Blake was her love interest. I feel like he would have brought out so much of her personality more. But I also want Aurora to kind of figure out who she is without a man, and I'm not gonna lie, I feel like Blake would have fulfilled that for her inevitably. Like, I think from what I've read is that he does desire her, whether or not they like it or not that they desire each other, but he would never force her into that. He doesn't want anything to be forced on anybody, and I think that he sees Aurora and he sees all of these rules that she's been forced to fulfill as a princess. You know, she's always had to abide by a man's rules, you know. As a princess, she was under her king's watch, and when she got almost married off to a neighboring country, like, she would have been her husband's property, and now she's under Callum's property. So I'm really hoping it doesn't end off on a why choose. I really hope that either in the rest of this book or in the next book we focus more on Blake and Aurora. I hope Aurora breaks free from the men in her life, for real, because they're not improving her life at all. Anyways, I'm gonna try to finish this up tonight. I'll be back very briefly. It shouldn't take me too long to finish 100 pages, and then I'll be back with my final update on the Wolf King. So in the first, literally chapter 50, if you don't want a spoiler, but it's not that spoilery. Okay, so we ride for hours, all the while Callum is silent behind me. Perhaps he is angry I danced with Blake. When Callum took me from the dance floor, his kiss was hard and dominant. It was as if he was staking his claim, despite how unnecessary and inappropriate it was to do such a thing in front of so many people. This whole book, by the way, let me tell you the vibes that I've been getting from Callum, is that he's very jealous. He views Aurora as his actual property rather than her own person. She danced with another man at a ball, and instead of, you know, maybe being like, oh, dang, that sucks, he like does all this stuff. He's so brooding, but not in like a cute little romantic way. He's brooding in a like he can't talk about his feelings and he's insecure type of way. He, throughout this whole book, him and Aurora, they have a moment and it's super intimate. She's like, oh my god, like I would never expect sharing something so intimate with a man. He leaves. He's quiet, he walks away, he's gone for days. Like, and he does that where like she gives him something and he just takes and then pulls away. Don't know what is up with this guy. He's just pissing me off at this point, and I just want more Blake. Maybe at the end of the day I just want more Blake. And I don't know what that says about me. Anyways, I'm gonna continue reading, and I hope this man locks in because he really is making me mad. on page 392 of the ebook. Guess who left? Guess who left? Guess what happens? I'll give you a hint. I'll put a little screenshot of it. I fear I got the ick with this man. Like, I already know I told you guys my opinions on the kilts or whatever, but tell me why. They're in like a tent and he like can't get out of the kilt. I swallow and look down at his kilt. I want you to take it off. He cups my cheek and kisses me gently. Okay. He shifts back to unlace and pull off his boots, struggling in the confines of the small space. When it comes to taking off his kilt, he curses again as he tries to maneuver out of it and kicks one of the walls of the tent. This isn't very dignified, he says. I giggle and he grins. Give me a second. I fear I shall ruin the mood. He ducks out the tent, letting in a refreshing gust of cool night air through the flap, only to reemerge a few seconds later without any clothes. Really? Ew. That's so gross. Yeah, I'm sorry. Whew. That just gave me the ick so bad. I'm so sorry. I cannot see Callum the same after that. I'm sorry. Like, anyways, sorry guys if you guys like him. That just gave me the ick so bad. Like, can you imagine, like, he can't get out of his kilt and he has to leave to take it off and he just rips open the tent and he's just standing there butt naked. I'm gonna continue reading and I'll give you my thoughts after I'm done. I just finished chapter 58 and something happened that, no surprise, made me love Blake even more. Something that I don't know fully yet. I just read the first page of chapter 59 and he says, I've been ingesting small doses of wolfsbane for years, says Blake. If a wolf takes a bite out of me, it ends worse for them. And I think that just sums up his character very well because it reminds me, I love characters that do this, by the way. This is not just him, but Jude from The Cruel Prince, when she poisons herself to become immune. Like, I just love characters that have that level of intelligence and cunning. I think they're so addicting to read about because it's not every day you get such a smart character. I honestly just love that. He's very cunning and intelligent, and Callum is just there. Yeah, you guys already know my thoughts. You guys don't need any more. Anyways, I'm gonna finish the last chapter and then I'll be back with another update. So I did finish The Wolf King. I think my rating is going to fall around a 4.25 stars. I know despite my hatred for one of the characters, I actually really enjoyed this one. I think a 4 is probably a good solid rating for this one. I thought it was such a fun, just easy book to read. I would say what I thought the book was going to be about, it took a totally different direction. So, I mean, that wasn't an issue, but I thought I was going to get different vibes from it. But overall, I really liked it. I did like our main character. Even though I had some qualms with the way that she acted, I feel like overall, for the most part, she is a runaway princess and she's trying to figure out who she is without the confines of politics. So I give her a bit of leeway there. The two male main characters, I feel like only one of them served a real purpose, and you guys already know who that is. I feel like Callum was just there. I feel like he was just the safe pick and he felt comfortable and safe, and I feel like she's never felt comfortable or safe, so I think that's why she kind of was so attracted to him. I don't think that she actually wants a person like that in her life. I think she wants somebody who's going to be on an even footing with her, like equal type of level, rather than, you know, he's an alpha and he's powerful and he's always telling her what to do, and I just feel like she needs somebody who's going to balance her out a little bit more, which is why I did prefer Blake, was because he's a smart and educated man in the same ways that she is, right? They both know medicine and herbs. They both kind of had a very similar upbringing. They were both from the Southlands, so they kind of could resonate on that level. I feel like to me, they just make more sense in my head. The entire lore on the wolves was super interesting, but they're more authentic to how werewolves are supposed to be. I know a lot of the wolf books that I read, they can shift on will, and it's a huge part of who they are. But in this one, it's definitely more animalistic, and they can only shift under the full moon. So I feel like there is a lot more genuine werewolf lore in this book. And then I know a lot of people say it does remind them of Outlander because of the Scottish woodsy kind of vibes, but I've never watched Outlander. I've tried and I just couldn't really get into it. I really did enjoy The Wolf King. I really want to go into the second book, which is called The Night Prince. I just hope that The Night Prince is going to blow me out of the water because I really enjoyed this one, and I want to see more from our main female character. I feel like she has so much potential. I want her to actually stand up for herself. I want her to get back into healing and find more out about her past. So I'm just hoping the second book blows me away because I want to see more from her and I want her to find out who she is. You know, I love that plot progression there. I finished that one. I am going to cut this vlog short. I wanted to end the vlog here because I read two really good books. I read The Vampires of El Norte and then I read The Wolf King. I rated them both very highly. I rated them both a 4 out of 5 stars or somewhere around there. Two totally different books, by the way. I read a lot of good books in this vlog. I had a good time. With that being said, I am going to close out today's vlog. I had a really good time. I enjoyed the books that I read and I hope you guys enjoyed following me along while I did so. So sorry again for the delays in the videos. I've been trying to keep myself on a consistent reading schedule. It just has been very hard with work and everything. I am going back to school in January, so I'm really excited for that. If you guys want any school content, I'll probably do my best to be able to do that for you, but I'm also hoping I'll have more in between time to read because now I'll be able to go to school and sit on campus and read. It is about time I get my life together, and YouTube is a big part of that. I do want to continue doing content because it really is a creative outlet for me. I find a lot of peace and solstice in doing it, and it's just something also to hold myself accountable. And I love interacting with you guys, and I love posting for you guys and just filming my reactions. To me, it's really fun. If you guys want to see any more content, let me know. Drop some recommendations down below. I would always love to have more recommendations. I mean, who wouldn't? Anyways, I'm going to wrap up this vlog now. It was so nice to talk to you guys again. I missed you guys a lot, and please stay tuned for my next video. Have a good night, guys.